What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're taking a quick look at Mafia, the old country, here on the Steam Deck. And this is a game I've actually been looking forward to. And on my desktop, I've been playing about 3 hours through, and it's actually been pretty fun. But performance on the Steam Deck is pretty rough. And I don't think it's just because the game is so-called hard to run or maybe poorly optimized, but there's issues here with the GPU usage and just how that's working out. So I don't know. It seems odd that it's running quite this low and having that much trouble. Settings wise, we are 800p with no VSync, unlimited on our FPS, and we're going to use FSR mostly, but we will take a quick look at XeSS and TSR. And we have all these settings down as low as it'll let us take them. I did try messing around with raising some things. It made things worse, and really messed around with some manual TDP, manual GPU, and all that. And most of that didn't help, except for sometimes with the manual GPU. But just jumping into the game here with 800p, basically as low as it'll let me go. I'm referring to it as low, even though not all those settings are low. FSR quality, frame gen off, 4 gigs of VRAM set on the Steam Deck. And again, this is kind of what we're getting, but I think GPU usage for a game like this should be much higher, as should the megahertz. But no matter what I did, I couldn't really correct things. If we force the GPU clock to go up, we will gain quite a few FPS here, and it will help out. I mostly only want to do that when I'm using frame gen though, and we do get some CPU bottlenecks and load-in issues the more that we use the manual GPU clock, but it does help some here. If we switch over to frame generation on, even though I am not an advocate of using it with base FPS that low, I will say that because it is good in-game frame generation, it does work pretty well here to at least kind of trick the eyes into believing we're getting over 30 FPS, and in my opinion doesn't look as bad as the native 17, 18, 20 FPS that we're getting. So in this case, I would say if you were brave enough to play this game on the Steam Deck right now at launch, you might want to look into trying the frame generation. Of course, you do have to manually have your clocks at 1600 for your GPU if you're going to do that. Now, as far as the other things we have here, you have FSR performance, which will bring us up a few FPS, but in motion, it is going to get pretty rough, especially if you're using frame generation. We also have XeSS as an option, which is probably one of the cleaner ones, but you're not going to gain anything performance-wise there. And then TSR, which you could use as well. I notice up close models look pretty rough, though, even though it does a good job with the stuff out in the distance. But ultimately, I just wound up going with FSR balanced for this because it's a bit of a mess anyways. And like I said, if you're going to brave trying to play this currently anyway in its current state without any kind of fixes or other things happening, you're probably going to wind up having to use frame generation with FSR anyways, because otherwise you're stuck at that 15 to 20 FPS most of the time, with the occasional 20 to 25 without any frame gen on and just running these settings this way. And I haven't really found any other fixes or better ways to run it myself yet, but you guys can always let me know in the comments if you've found some kind of fixes or something else working better. I'll keep an eye out for some updates, and we'll do some other videos if we get something here, but you can see what performance is looking like here. And again, I think with frame generation, unfortunately, is probably going to be the answer, even though I wouldn't normally advocate for that with such low FPS. It doesn't feel that bad to play that way, and it definitely looks better, so you can kind of judge that as you will right now. But anyways, guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. I'll leave you with some gameplay with and without frame gen so you can see a little bit more. Thanks a lot for coming to check out the video as always, and I'll see you in the next one.
Lazy bastard, they are just standing around. Shouldn't they be hitting rocks or something?
Let's find the owner and get to the bottom of this.
We can wait out here all day.
Stand aside. I need to speak with your boss.
No boss of mine in there.
All right, then. How about you get out of the way before I put a pick through your skull?
Be my guest. Saves me breaking this door down. You ask that deadbeat where our money is.
Signore Vanaglio, open up.
Who is it?
Luca Trapani.
My apologies for all the commotion. As you can see, matters have gotten out of hand.
What's going on out there?
I took on some men from Collezzolfo. Damn socialistas. They are on strike, if you can believe that.
You know Don Torrisi takes a dim view on strikes. What is their complaint?
A deal fell through. I don't get paid, they don't get paid. It's as simple as that.
It's out before it takes hold. Who is the ringleader?
A stonecutter called Manuele. Big guy, loud mouth. You can't miss him.
Good to know. Enzo, let's go.
Too late to put away your blade and leave with those two.
If you want to work, we'll have to make you.
Let them fight.
Kids gonna
Either that or he's an idiot.
No! Bastardo inutili! This is bigger than you or me.
Where's that big mouth now, huh?
Bastard!
If your man does not what he says, he'll hold his own.
No!
We're going back to work, my friend.
All right, look.
Anyone else? No?
Quit standing around.
Get back to work. Your little revolution is over. Pay the troublemakers what they are owed, then get rid of them.
Please, send my regards to Don Torisi.
See you in a month. You're handy with a knife, my boy. There might be hope for you yet.
He was all talk. If he had any balls, he would have taken his money already.